You've heard and watched the podcast. Now come see FTR with Dax Harwood live at wrestling's biggest weekend of the year, Thursday, March 30th at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, the home of WrestleCon, at 8 p.m. Get your tickets at FTRwithDax.com. Join Dax with a live mic and guests, of course, Cash, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Sean Spears, and some surprises that we can't even talk about. Get your tickets at FTRwithDax.com now.
I never said anyone was against me, or I never said any company was burying me. I've never said that before. It's just me. I've just spoken the truth. I don't necessarily think, and I didn't even want to cover this, but fuck it, we're here. Why not? The Darby thing. When I heard it, I didn't necessarily think he was talking about me. I have a good idea of some of the people he is talking about. Darby and I are pretty close. I would say we're good buds. And so I don't think he was. And if he was, I would ask him, and maybe I will ask him when I see him. But I would ask him to come talk to me and let's clear the air and figure that out. But I don't necessarily think he was talking about me, because I have respect for him and he's got a respect for me, and we've worked together quite a few times, and we talk every week. But I understand what he was saying and where he was coming from. But the internet Twitter people, they can find anything on Twitter. So I'm asking them to go and find where I have actually complained. I'm just telling my truth, dude. And if I didn't stand up for me, if I didn't stand up for FTR,
right,
I don't know if we would be in the position we are right now.
No chance. I don't think so.
Yeah. I mean, imagine, which I never, ever complained about this, and I beg people to go look for this. Imagine if we were stuck with WWE, and we would have worn the outfits that Vince gave us, the big packet of outfits he gave us. Imagine where our legacy would have led. We wouldn't have had any matches with the Briscoes. We wouldn't have had the match with Aussie Open. We wouldn't have had the 2022 that we've had, and we wouldn't have had the legacy that we have.
Right.
But we stood up for ourselves. We stood up for what we believed in. And somewhere along the way, dude, standing up for what you believe in, speaking your truth became wrong. At one time, that was the measure of a character, was if you stood up for yourself, right? At one point in the world, that was a measure of your character. And now it's a measure of how bad of a human being you are, because we've gotten so complacent. We've gotten so used to sitting back and just taking the shit and eating the shit. But if you believe in yourself, man, if you believe in what you have and what you can accomplish, but also what you can give back to the world, especially a world that you fucking love, dude. And right. I love it with a passion, to the point where it has caused me a lot of grief and a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress. But I love it so much that I have to stand up for what I believe in. Because if I didn't stand up for what I believe in, I would have just got along to get along. You know what I mean? I would have gone along to get along, and I would have never done the things I wanted to do. And then I couldn't have looked at myself in the mirror at the end of the day. At the end of the day, when we retire, imagine if I look back and said, okay, well, I shaved my back with the Usos. They poured itching powder down my ball sack. I put on these clown outfits, and then who knows what else. If in AEW, let's talk about in AEW too. If I wouldn't have stood up for what I believed in and what I felt was right, what if I would have stayed with the Pinnacle? You know what I mean? What if we would have stayed in the Pinnacle and just been a backdrop to everything that was going on, or what if we would have never got the rematch with the Young Bucks? You know what I mean? Like,
right,
man, all this happened, dude. All this happened because of a few reasons. One, because someone believed in us, right? And gave us that opportunity.
Absolutely.
Two, it's because we stood up for what we believed in, dude. And we fought for the opportunity. And they probably said in the back of their head, well, fuck them, dude. Fuck them. Let's give them this opportunity. And when they fail, we can say, see, told you, that's why you're going to wear the clown outfits, right? But we didn't. We fucking fought for it. And at some point in this world, in my lifetime, that became wrong. And it became people complaining.
I would
Yes,
argue it's
yeah,
perception versus reality. It's
Yes.
wrong on Twitter. 27% of Americans are on Twitter, and those people, about 5% of us are on there a lot. But the reality is people who stand up for themselves go out on TV or go out on Revolution after a 2-month absence and get a roaring applause. That's the reality. The reality is people who stand up for themselves get a booking in Philadelphia and, to their surprise, have a line around all the other tables to go sign with them. So I wouldn't, say that it's wrong. I would say in certain areas it's wrong, but the reality shows people are connecting that because you guys aren't gimmicks. You guys aren't like, these characters people are like, oh, they're fun and we like them. They're connecting to the real people. And I think that's why people are coming up to you, Dax Harwood, and crying when they meet you.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And I appreciate you saying all that stuff because it does, like I said yesterday, and the Revolution reaction that we got all puts things in perspective.
You've heard and watched the podcast. Now come see FTR with Dax Harwood live at wrestling's biggest weekend of the year, Thursday, March 30th at the Millennium Biltmore Hotel, the home of WrestleCon, at 8 p.m. Get your tickets at FTRwithDax.com. Join Dax with a live mic and guests, of course, Cash, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, Sean Spears, and some surprises that we can't even talk about. Get your tickets at FTRwithDax.com now.